being an entrepreneur sounds cool, but the reality of building a business is very, very difficult. Every level that you hit, there's a lot of things that suck that you just won't want to do. What you're capable of is on the other side. I don't feel like it.
And if you're committed to what it is that you're trying to do, nothing is going to stop you from getting there.
Welcome back to another episode of Real Business Owners with myself, Trevor Cowley. Today is a solo episode, so you know how that goes. Some days I get a little aggressive, but it comes from a place of love. You know, I love and care about each one of you that take time out of your day to tune in and that are doing what they can to try to get information to enhance their life. But obviously, as you know, information is only so good. It's applied information that really makes changes. I want to reaffirm this before I jump in today's podcast. There's nothing wrong with any of your businesses. Anybody that's listening to this episode, there's nothing wrong with it. There's something wrong with every person that is listening to this, though. We're human, and we, again, have flaws. If we were addressing our shortcomings, then you wouldn't allow what's happening, or you would be learning how to overcome it, or you would be hiring out what's needed. The issue is you're accepting what your struggles are without really putting up a fight to overcome them. Hence, they still exist. I hated seeing somebody run faster than me, but I didn't hate it enough to go out there and work on increasing my speed. So you either hate the struggle that you're dealing with or the process that you would have to go through to fix it. Most hate the process to fix it, but yet they bitch about the same struggles that they aren't willing to address, and they do that for the rest of their lives. Once you overcome you and your shortcomings, the new you will overcome the struggles that you're currently facing. This is all an individual problem. If your business is in chaos, you're probably a disorganized person. If you are comfortable with mediocrity, like, hey, I started my business as long as it makes more money than the job that I had previous, where I was making 60 grand, now I make 80 grand. So therefore, you're starting to get into a place of comfort. And comfort, I mean, let's just be real. That is a form of being mediocre, right? You know that there's things that you could do to enhance your life or things that you could do to enhance your business, but yet you're not doing anything about it. That is a form of comfort. That is mediocrity by itself. This is a story that I did want to share with you, though, because it was really impactful for me. And if it's impactful for me, I know I'm not alone out there. And so it's a story that I read and I hope it finds you guys and hits home. So the story starts, she was drowning and nobody noticed except her coach. Her name is Anita Alvarez. She was finishing a flawless routine when her body just gave out. And this was in an Olympic pool in Budapest in 2002. There was no gasp for air, no cry for help. She sank. While the crowd clapped and her coach, fully clothed, shoes on, no hesitation, dove in, pulled her from the bottom and saved her life. And it got me thinking, how many of us out there are surrounded by applause, but we're still fucking drowning? How many business owners are out there sinking under pressure, buried by invoices, starving for leads, working 16-hour days just to breathe a little bit and nobody notices? Maybe your wife, maybe your kids, or maybe nobody at all. You show up online smiling, you high-five people at networking events, but inside, you're one client cancellation away from losing it. I've been there. I burned the candle at both ends, thinking I was just doing what it takes, while my soul quietly slipped underwater. We've all clapped for somebody who was breaking, but here's the shift. In business and in life, you need people who know your rhythm. People who notice when your breath's off, who feel it in their gut when something's not right, and dive in fully closed without a second thought. You need a team, a tribe, a coach, a client, a partner who sees past the performance and says, fuck the show, I got you. And maybe more importantly, you need to be that person for your spouse, for your kids, for your business partners, for the people building beside you who are too tired to say that they're slipping. If you're just clapping from the sidelines while somebody drowns quietly in front of you, you're not present. You're just noise. And if you're the one gasping for air behind the applause, it's time to build a new crew. I don't want to see you winning in public while you're dying in private. I want you free, fulfilled, focused, back at the surface, breathing deep, and building like you were born to. You want to do that. I know you do. Then you need to surround yourself with people who will dive in without asking. and be the one who also dives into. I've had many conversations within the last couple weeks, and I can look into the eyes of business owners. They feel soulless, hopeless, emotionless. And in business, it's such a brutal journey that a lot of times that we decide, you know what, it's best just to feel no emotion at all, because if I felt emotion, I probably would break. I know that I've experienced that for myself. I'm here to tell you guys that the majority of you are doing way better than you think you are. Are there things about you that you need to change? Is there disciplines that you need to start adopting, or habits that you need to start creating? Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're perfect, but you're probably doing better than what you think you are. 80% of businesses do $100,000 a year or less in revenue. 11% fall between $100,000 and $999,000 in revenue. Only 9% ever hit the 1 million plus mark. I wanted to let you guys know, just because you feel like that you're not doing well doesn't mean that you aren't doing well. We trust feelings like they're facts, which is the furthest thing from the truth. I want you guys to see the reality of owning a business. The majority of business owners are struggling. Is this because the business can't make any money? Or is it more so the person who is steering the business? I think it's the latter. It's the individual that steers the business. The average business owner makes $70,000 a year. The average margin for a business is 10%. The average business does $500,000 a year in revenue. 65% of businesses go out of business between year 5 and 10. You know, the issue that I had with the average business doing $500,000 in revenue, but yet 80% of businesses don't ever get to the 6-figure mark. The reason that is because you have, it's just the law of averages, right? So you have 8 businesses doing under $100,000. You're going to have one business do roughly $300,000 to $600,000, and then usually there's one outlier that does about $5 million. You run those numbers, and it's going to average out. So that outlier brings the average way up. And that's another point that I wanted to make. Like, you are the outlier out there in the world. You have the ability to bring the average of humans up. The people that you surround yourself with, you have the ability to elevate them just by being in your proximity, provided you're doing some of these things that we discuss every single week on the podcast in terms of self-improvement. The average business goes under because of poor money management. How you handle your personal finances will directly impact how likely it is that you succeed in business. This could be due to one of two things. You're either underpriced or you're overspending, personally or professionally. You're not doing bad. It's just really that hard to be successful. Showing up isn't enough to win in business. You must be focused when you show up and go the extra mile by working on yourself just as hard as you do the business. If you're always growing, the business has no choice but to follow suit. Too many focus on what changes they need to make within their business and focus very little about what changes they can make on themselves. My guess is the majority of the 65% that are gone between year 5 and 10 didn't do anything in regarding self-improvement. The reason why I wanted to share some of those statistics with you is because entrepreneurship has turned into somewhat of a rat race, right? Like, we started businesses for one purpose and one purpose only. That's for financial freedom. That's for time freedom. And that's the last thing that's happening right now. It's like literally the top 1% or the top 5% might have financial and time freedom. Maybe the percentage is greater with financial freedom, but they don't have time freedom. There's an exchange that they're still making, like I talked about, working the 16-hour days. And it's like, well, why are you still doing that? It's because you lack something within you. Maybe a leadership skill, or the willingness to develop yourself, or the willingness to develop somebody else, the willingness to go through the pains of the trial and error process of growing a business and training other people to come into that business and be able to replace what it is that you do. You have to go from a point of being an executor to being a strategist within inside of your company. And so if you're struggling with leads, like if you're in the blue collar world and you're struggling with leads, like one of the first things that I would advise you to do is touch base with somebody that has the ability to run a Google campaign that's very keyword specific. If your niche is a little bit more broad, you should be running Facebook campaigns, TikTok campaigns, Reddit campaigns. So if it's a client issue, in other words, getting new clients, it's a sales problem that you're currently experiencing, my question to you is, what are you even doing about it? That's usually the first question that I have for somebody. If they say, well, man, sales are slow, I need more leads or I need more sales. And it's like, okay, tell me what it is that you're currently doing right now proactively in order to change that. 9 times out of 10, they're not doing anything. They keep showing up as the same version of themselves as the day before. They're not trying new things. They're not putting a lab coat on. What would be discovered if nobody put a lab coat on? We would be back in the Stone Ages still. You have to be okay with messing up. You have to be okay with spending money without getting a result. That's part of the process of eventually getting to the point where you see a result. In other words, hiring somebody that doesn't work out. You're spending money, but you didn't get the result that you wanted. That's part of the process. Guess what? Do it again. Fall down 7, get up 8. That's the process. Try 2 marketing, try 3. You've hired 3 people, all 3 didn't, hire 4, hire 5, number 6, number 7, why does it matter how many times that it takes or how many hurdles are in your path to the goal that you said that was important to you? If that goal is a priority, you shouldn't negotiate with that goal based upon a level of discomfort or pain that you're currently having to go through in order to get to it. In other words, it really was just a nice thought. It wasn't really a goal. It wasn't something that you were truly committed to. You were committed to it as long as the exchange didn't require you to change. As long as the exchange didn't require you to go through extreme discomfort. I know what it feels like to be very, very uncomfortable. I know what it feels like to say this exchange isn't worth it anymore. Yeah, I'm making good money, but at what cost? I'm slipping underwater. I'm losing my soul. I can't even feel joy anymore. Maybe I need to get a hobby. And all of those things, I think everybody will experience, wondering if it's all going to pay off. The only way that it has the ability to pay off is if you're willing to change some of the things that you've yet been willing to change. If you're willing to actually go through a discomfort that you've been not willing to go through up to this point. You have to be dead ass serious and very, very committed to what it is that you say that you want. Because everything and the kitchens, it's going to be thrown at you. It's going to test you. The people that have the result that you want are simply just people. I've been dealing with negative thoughts in regards to the half marathon. It's like, fuck, man, today's only day 124. I'm a little over 20% in. I'm like, can I really do this for another, 470 something days straight? I don't like going to the gym and running inside, but that's where I have witnesses Monday through Friday, running circles around a track, having to shower at the gym. This is all shit that I just don't want to do. And then I had to ask myself, was I really committed to that outcome and that goal that I set for myself? Am I willing to go through this discomfort? Some of the things that I just would prefer not to do in order to reach that outcome. And I have to remind myself over and over, there was somebody else out there that did this for 555 days. And if somebody else out there did this for 555 days, maybe not in the same manner in which I have to do it, I would much, much rather run in rain, wind, snow, basically outside, Monday through Friday. Thank God I get Saturday and Sunday where I have witnesses at my home to where I have the ability to go enjoy outside runs. But like it's forcing me to recommit. These doubts that I experience, this discomfort, some of the things I just don't like. It's forcing me to go deeper. It's asking me, how committed are you to this thing that you said that you wanted? So is the discomfort that you're experiencing just asking you how committed you are to the result that you said that you wanted? It takes what it takes. The only way forward is forward. If you keep showing up every single day as the same version, that's maintenance. That's not momentum. It's going to require you to recommit and say, this is a discomfort that I'm willing to go through because I value X results so much. I value losing 50 pounds and becoming healthier. I value getting to the point where I have time freedom, financial freedom, that I'm willing to go through this discomfort. Whatever it is that you say that you value, you will be tested in the form of discomfort. And at that point, you have to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to find ways to talk to yourself in a manner that says, well, if somebody else did it, then I have the ability to do it. They're a human being. I'm a human being too. This is just a small moment in time. You know how many times I've told myself that over the last 124 days? This is just a small moment in time. At one point, I'm going to be 50 years old, 55, 60 years old, and I'm going to be looking back and reflecting on these moments and realize that these were the good old days. These were times that molded me and shaped me. I have to be telling myself that over and over and over because there's moments where I just don't believe it. So I have to reinforce that. I have to talk to myself. I do believe everybody has multiple versions of themselves. There is a bitch version of you that does exist. And most often that version holds people back from what could be. Like I know you dream and you think about and you contemplate what could be. And then you commit to these certain things. And in reality, it becomes a micro commitment because once you experience this pain or there's an obstacle that you need to overcome and it tries to test you and ask you how committed you are, then you falter. You don't go into your mind and tap into that other version of yourself that has infinite amount of potential. Hiring and expanding your business is going to be tough. Learning how to generate leads for yourself is going to be tough. Then learning how to sell those leads is going to be tough. Then creating a follow-up system that has the ability to maximize your dollar per lead is going to be tough. Trying to become a leader when you don't feel like that you're a leader. You feel like you're still trying to figure it out. So how can you lead? It's going to be tough. Learning how to shut it off. That's extremely tough. I've yet to figure some of that stuff out in regards to shutting things off. When I put my mind on something, I become very obsessed with it. And there's nothing that will stop me from getting to what it is that I'm obsessed about. For me, like when I see my phone that's almost dying when I'm on the way home, I don't plug it in my truck anymore. I don't want it charged when I get to the house. Like I want to go to my room and I want to plug it in and I want to charge it there to where I can absolutely disconnect. I don't care who texts me. I don't care who emails me. I don't care who's calling me. There's going to be a period of time where I'm absolutely disconnected from my cell phone. And that's a tough thing for me to do. It's a tough thing for all of us to do. Like that's just the world that we live in. It's the tough decisions that we have to make on a day-to-day basis that's going to get us the most yardage. So what is it that you're struggling with the most right now? Whether you're talking about in business, whether you're talking about out of business, and what is it that you could do? What discomfort can you go through that would allow you a greater result if you were able to make it through that? What conversations do you need to have with inside of your organization? Maybe you don't have, team meetings with your entire company on it because you just don't feel like a leader. Congratulations. That's what everybody else that is a leader right now out in the world had to go through in order for you to view them as a leader. The discomfort of not feeling like they're prepared or that they're that type of person. I don't speak well in front of people. That's never been my strong suit. Cool. The things that have never been your strong suit that you continue to keep weak, there it is. There it is. That's what's holding you back. Your unwillingness. So stop bitching. Stop complaining. Stop telling other people about your problems because at the end of the day, you just want to blow hot air in order to feel good. You just kind of want to get it out of your system. Oh man, that felt really good. It's like, cool. You show up tomorrow, it's the same ass shit. Then you're going to blow the same hot air next month and the next month and the next month. Growth is extremely discomforting. Growth is extremely uncomfortable. It'll make you squirm. The question is when it's doing that, are you going to tap out? You might be drowning quietly. You might be carrying a heavy, heavy weight on your shoulders. And when you walk into your house, you go silent because you don't know what there is to say because you're just carrying so much. It's almost like I just want to go sit down and take the weight of the world off my shoulders and just disconnect from reality for a moment. I think everybody's felt that. But if you're constantly having to disconnect from reality, then in reality, that means that there's things that are unaddressed or growth that you have to go through and experience. If you don't have a tribe, you don't have a coach, you don't have people around you that can call you out on the areas in which you are weak or the actions that you're not taking, I highly, highly, highly suggest for you to make a decision, a tough decision, to surround yourself with new people, to do something that you've never done before. These statistics, the story that I shared with you, the discomfort that's required, a lot of it does suck. But if you can go through the extreme suck of building a business, then that means you become deserving of the extreme rewards of building a business. So are you building a job? Are you just self-employed? Or are you trying to become a real business owner? And if you're trying to become a real business owner, go to joinrbo.com. I will personally hop on a call with you. I will walk you through certain things that you probably are blind to at this point with inside of your business or about yourself and give you good information regardless. If you've been listening to this and been thinking about it, this is my call to action to you. Take that step that you've yet been willing to take so that you could receive results that you've yet experienced and get to the point where you feel like you're making progress and experience joy again. I love and appreciate every single one of you, like I said, for tuning in on a week-to-week basis. I know what you're going through, and you shouldn't be doing that alone. Make sure you rate and review the show. Other than that, guys, keep kicking ass. We'll see you next week.